Hello, guys. Welcome to this episode of LEX View. My name is Okafor Chibo Chidiara, and I'm your host for today. And with me here is Ikedinobi Emmanuel, a 500 level law student and the current Chief Judge of the law at Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for joining me. So I would have to go straight to the question.
Okay.
But then I want to know you first. Like, how would you describe yourself, Emmanuel?
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, first and foremost, I would sort of describe myself as an easygoing person in the sense that I my approach to things is somewhat direct and practical. And then I also see myself as a hardworking person. It's not as if I'm actually praising myself, but then in life, one knows or one should have priority of what he wants and actually devise a means and an attitude to get what one wants. So, and in doing that, hard work is one of the core things. So basically, I see myself as an easygoing person, hardworking person, and someone that is goal driven too.
So basically, a go-getter, and we recognize you as one, of course. Now, going straight to the point, how did you? What was the introduction into law? Like, how did you get into this stage of I want to study law to this point?
Okay, I think one of the things that made me to actually embark on this adventure or this journey of studying law, I typically the aura and the glory that comes around being a lawyer. I
Of
think back
course.
then when we would go to courtroom, sort of all these courtesy and excursions, normally go to court back then in my primary school. Yeah, even my secondary school, then we would see lawyers and how they are dressed and also how they are being referenced and revered as a noble profession. So these are the these are the things that made me to actually say, okay, yeah, I think this is where I want to be and all that. And another thing again is I am a kind of person that likes reading novels and
Big
literature
reader.
work. Yeah, so in a way, I got to find out that I mean, for you to be a lawyer, you have to be well versed in reading. And then the books I was reading, then I saw what lawyers could do in courtroom and all that. So these were things that made me structure my the thing I want to be, or let's they made me structure a dream of becoming a lawyer, so to say. So
Spurred your interest.
my interest exactly.
Ikedinobi, what someone would describe as a stellar law student. Yeah. And then it's quite funny how people come from being a novice to being a law lord. At this point now, you're the chief judge. So, how would you describe your journey from being a year one student, like not knowing anything about the law, not knowing the first thing about the constitution, to this point of having the memory of several acts and laws in your head offhand?
Okay, to start with, basically, yeah, I know that generally, if everyone comes into this faculty or any law faculty, um, there is this kind of ignorance one has with respect to law, the knowledge of law, and all that. But that notwithstanding, there's what we call passion. You have to be passionate about the profession. Basically, if you really want to do so well as a student advocate, as a student practitioner, or anything you really want to do, you want to be a top class, a high flying student, you really have to be passionate about
About
the law. Because believe you me, studying law is in a way tiring,
boring.
boring too. Thank you very much. So, but that's where your passion comes in. That's where your dream. Let's say you have a dream of actually becoming a senior advocate of LOSA or a judge of LOSA. So the next question you ask yourself, how can I achieve this? And you get, oh, by joining chambers, by let's say engaging in motor activities, or let's say, how can I be a high flying student in my class? You typically find out that you have to be in lecture room. You wouldn't want to miss lectures. You have to read and go for night class and all that. So passion played a very huge role in my life or to my progress. At every point in time, I had passion about the law, advancing myself. And believe you me, there were times that I would want to slack, but then you
Let
have a
me
bigger
just
picture.
rest.
Yes. There are times, I mean, we all
I'm a
are human
human.
beings. Yeah. There are times you have ups and downs. Let's say you're not able to meet up your target. At the end of the day, you did your first matter, it was struck out. I mean, it's very tiring and all that. So, but passion will keep you going. Another thing again is consistency. These two things has really helped me. I had the passion, then I'm being consistent. I'm taking strategic
Showing up.
steps, yes, to actually do so. Okay, to start with, from my year one, basically, I read. Then after my year one, I was like, I need to build myself more outside. I'm not saying that classroom work is not good. I mean, it's really good, but
It's
the
an
passion,
academic
yes,
student.
as I needed to create a carve a niche for myself in the profession, and I had a sort of a high interest in litigation. So I asked myself, how can I do that? Okay, I volunteered to be as at my year two. I was a court registrar, then trying to help in organizing and filing matters. So from there, I started reading processes. I was now exposed to the environment and all that. So from there, I started going for court matters, doing fictitious matters with some of my classmates. But oh, let's work on this fictitious matter. Oh, I'll be the plaintiff, I'll serve you, you'll be the defendant. We'll go to court, we'll argue.
Just
From
experiment.
there, yeah, from there we started building the experience, started building the knowledge and all that. And every now and then, I love reading law reports too. These are the things that helped me. These are the habits that helped me. So basically, it's all about being passionate. Passion will spur you to do anything you would want to go out of your way in achieving. So I believe these are the things that made me to be where I am today, although I'm still aiming to go higher.
Of
Yeah.
course,
So
and you will,
amen. Thank
because
you very much.
someone of your passion and someone of your hard work, the way you always like to put yourself out there and put in the work. There's no way.
Yeah,
Life has to give back what you give to it.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah, Emmanuel, you were the chief judge. In fact, you are currently the chief judge,
Yeah,
even though it's in a while you have to hand over. You are the
yeah.
chief judge of laws at this point. How would you say this position has impacted you and you have used it to impact others? Like, what's the experience in this position?
Okay, to start with, the position is not really an easy thing. I mean, being able to organize judges and you have people you are working with and everything, trying to sit on matters, writing of judgment. It's not really an easy thing, but the experience for me has been worthwhile. I must commend, and it has really exposed me to a lot of things, a lot of materials, a lot of legally inclined knowledge that I was not really aware of. Another thing too, drafting. It has
Yes,
improved my drafting skill as a potential lawyer
lawyer.
to be. So if tomorrow by God's grace I'm a real life judge, with the experience I've gathered here, I mean it has really sort of prepared me for the future, basically. So the position itself has given me a lot of experience, like I would say. And then it's another thing to hold a leadership position, another thing for you to make an impact there. So me coming in as a chief judge, prior to becoming a chief judge, I was the Lord Chancellor of my chamber. So I had a bigger vision of actually touching a sort of channeling the ideas I have for the betterment of
Lots of
LOSA. And so when I came in, I saw the need of drafting the new rules of court,
right.
which in a way is now can be equated to what is obtainable at the conventional practice, where we get to see ADR proceedings, where we get to see a kind of electronic filing and electronic sitting.
Cities.
And believe me, it has been practicalized in LOSA. There are a lot of cases that have been done via electronic means. Then also reporting of cases. Prior to now, we don't have a sort of a list or a sort of an accommodated place where we would have judgments that were delivered by judges of law side sort of kept. So, but I saw the need of trying to keep a record,
Record.
at least for the
Easily
sake of,
accessible.
yes, exactly, for the sake of the next people that will be coming in or subsequent judges in LOSA. At least there will be a record of cases and everything so that everybody will be guided
For
accordingly as
reference.
exactly as the developmental aspect of law in LOSA. So another thing too is competitions. During my administration or currently, I have actually supervised a lot of competitions that the faculty has gone for, international wise, national wise, and even to other schools. I mean, Unizik has been I sort of has gone for a lot of competitions. Competitions. At some point I had to
You've
go to
been showing up
Lagos.
lately.
Yes.
Of course.
So I mean, these are the things I know that I've been able to achieve as the chief judge, and with the help of other judges too, I've been working with. Everything has been going very smoothly, and the progress is one that can be calculated and say, yes, so far so good. There is indeed a level of progress. There is a sort of raising the standard or raising the bar and the bench higher. So that's all I can say.
You know, I'd have to commend your administration for the provision of the rules of court and then the the accessibility you give to us for these cases
Yeah.
that after they are doing. Usually, when you want to know what happens in a matter, you have to ask either the people present in
People
the court
exactly.
or people that
Yes.
have the
Yeah. Exactly.
actual judgment.
Yes.
But now, when my friend goes to court and is like, okay, this is what happened. What do you think about this? I can go somewhere and check. Okay, this
Yes.
is the actual
The
judgment.
reason
This
and
is what
the
we do. Yes, the
yeah.
reason they tell. So thank you for that. You talked about competition. I want to ask a question about this competition. In the life of a law student, what's the effect on the positive value competitions and internships have as a law student?
Oh, okay. As a law student, I mean, generally we categorize competitions, internships, and some other law-related activities as extracurriculum activities, not like the normal classroom field work. Now, the benefit it gives to a law student or anybody interested or participating in it is number one, you get to see the law being practiced. You get to have a feel of the law you are reading because the curriculum activities we are doing is basically going to
Of
classes
course, yeah,
and
just
then
read
the
your
lecturer
books.
comes and teaches and everything, read your book, come to exam or write what they've taught you and you go. But talking about the practicability of what you've learned, practicability in the sense that you now have a fictional matter where you are meant to apply the knowledge of the law
Law, like a
to
lawyer.
exactly, and then you are seeing that you are trying to solve a particular problem, trying to advance for the case of your client. So it teaches you the law in practice, and that's what is obtainable in outside world. So in essence, competition prepares you as a future lawyer of what you are going to see once you become a lawyer. Prior to now, basically, the concept of competitions has not really been that much.
Yeah,
But I saw the need of actually, yes, there is need for us. I think during my administration, we were able to organize close to 5 competitions. It's on record,
yes, I was
or
part
more
of it.
than two. So at the end of the day, even going out for other competitions, once I see any opportunity online, there's a national competition going on. What I basically do, I register our faculty and I see to it that people are being mobilized to go for it. So the impact that's done to the life of a law student is one that cannot be overemphasized because at the long run, it's going to benefit you career wise and prepare you ahead of what you are going to see
Like
in
an
future. Yes,
experience.
exactly, like an experience. So, and as well, internship. Internship is also good. We know about CV, your curriculum vitae. When you graduate now, let's say you graduated with a first class and I graduated with a first class. Now, they ask us to bring our CV normally. Now, if my CV,
That's where the skill
yes,
comes in.
comes in. In my CV, basically, I was able to only go to classes. I don't have much things to show in my CV. And you on your own end, you were able to show that, I mean, you were engaged in a national moot competition. You participated in your chamber activities, or let's say you were one time a Lord Chancellor of your chamber. And as well, let's say you've done internship in like a top tier firm or even any firm that is well known. Between those two CVs, the HR will be looking at the person that has other extra
And
qualities
like
aside,
an added
yes,
experience.
aside the grade. I'm not saying that the grade is good though. The grade is actually good. But then there are other things that would make you look a sort of be at an advantage against the other
Against
person.
your
So they'll see that, I
peers.
mean, this guy is somebody that took out time not just to develop himself academically, but to develop himself leadership wise. He's
He's
multitasking.
multitasking.
So these are things that at the end of the day, if you sit down as a law student, you have, yeah, I really see the need to do or get involved in competitions or going for internship because at the long run, it will be an advantage to your CV, to your growth, to your growth.
Of
I, for
course.
one, there are a lot of cases that I've read. I know that tomorrow, if I become a lawyer, I can easily apply
Remember
them
them,
and,
of course.
and remember them by virtue of the knowledge I was able to gather here. So the importance is one, and the effect is one that is life changing. There's what we call a paradigm shift. It brings a paradigm shift to anybody who would or who would in a way engage. Look at past records. Check our students that a sort of our alumni.
Yeah.
Look at those that were really seasoned mooters, those that were really that took it upon themselves to engage in law-related activities. Check where they are now. They are
It's
basically,
evident.
yes, they are basically doing well for themselves. I wouldn't want to call names, but they are basically doing. And if you ask them, tell you that this is where they started. This is where they are
The
a sort of,
beginning days.
yes, they are beginning days. So the importance is one that I keep on emphasizing that it's going to do you more good. It's even now, like just like Justice Oputa Chukwudi of the blessed memory, he will tell you that the importance of engaging in mood practice cannot be overemphasized. Why? Is in that mood practice that you get to do a mistake and
And
you'll be
correct.
corrected.
You
But
can't do it
you can't do
in
it in
when
I mean,
someone is
your
at
someone's
stake.
faith is that, and you now make that serious mistake. The judge is not going to look at you as a novice. He's going to look at you as a professional.
You're a lawyer, you're a
So
lawyer.
so
There's
why
no
not take it? That's why I keep on
make the
advising students,
mistakes
yeah,
now
now and get corrected and become somebody that is semi close to perfect.
at the point you start.
Exactly. So the effect and importance is one that does good to any law student that would want to engage into it.
Now, there's the importance, we've emphasized the importance of interning and competitions. Now, interning especially, since this is part of our growth as students, is it not expected for the faculties to be able to like help students in these positions? Like, okay, if you can have at least 20
Yeah,
slots for each class
yeah.
internship, maybe you have to be merited maybe by the first 20 students. Is it not better that way?
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. But then you know that a lot of factors comes into play. A lot of factors in the sense that talking about the schools in the east, schools I mean universities or law
Yeah, yeah.
faculty, you cannot use it to compare law faculties in the west.
That's
That's number one thing. And most of the lecturers here, they are good. They are really, really sound. But then this career and internship stuff is not something they are really aware of or
into
into in a way. But if you look at the school like OAU, UI, these are schools that they are aware of these things. As a matter of fact, they create clubs like tax club, all these debate, like they get to push out their
their
students
students.
in a way that they will be positioned to go for any internships they want. And believe you me, if you look at the statistics, okay, just like when I was doing my internship in Bawa and Godalo, a top tier firm,
Yeah, right.
and then out of 10 persons that were interns there,